All right, guys, I'm back. I finished watching Devilman Crybaby last week, and now it's my turn to give something to Mike to watch. Now, if you're familiar with the internet at all and memes and whatnot, which Mike loves so dear, you may or may not have seen this meme right here behind me of the skateboarding assassin, essentially, and these two gentlemen here in the Jeep Wrangler. Now, if you recognize it, you know it's from a movie from 1987 called Hard Ticket to Hawaii. Now, that's what I am going to make Mike watch this week. It's directed by this guy named Andy Sidaris. He's made 12 of these movies in this series that's called the Triple B Cinematic Universe. Essentially, it's like the Triple B series because Cinematic Universe didn't exist yet, but it's the Triple B series, and it's the bullets, bombs, and depending on who you talk to, the third B either stands for babes or boobs. And based on this movie alone, you can probably guess which one it really does pertain to. Or in fact, it's probably both babes with boobs, that kind of thing. So the best part about this movie, other than the lovely memes and the crazy over-the-top action that it is the fact that it is basically the live-action version or predecessor of that Rick and Morty gag, the Ball Fondlers movie. If you've ever seen it's the episode of Rick and Morty where the interdimensional cable is what it's called, and so Rick one of the movies that Rick's altered cable box shows is this movie called Ball Fondlers, and it's just over the top action. It's hardcore craziness the whole time. That's essentially this movie. It's Hard Ticket to Hawaii from 1987, and I chose this because I wanted to give Mike a break after choosing Society, which is just a terrifying movie to watch and have. Again, like I said, everyone should have the images in their brain, but Mike hasn't now, so I felt a little bad because I think I really did break him with it. It's a tough one to watch. It's a tough one to come back from. So I went with Hard Ticket to Hawaii because we're talking about action movies this month. And this is heart of the 80s, heart of 80s action. It is amazingly bad, but in an amazing way. Like, we're talking about every single actress in this movie, except one, and I'll get to them in a minute. Every actress in this movie is a Playboy playmate of some kind, and they show why they got that job. Let's say why they have that title and why they were known as playmates, because everything's on display for pretty much no reason too, and because that was the 80s and you had to have it. And there's also our two main male characters right here are buddies. They are about as swinging dick, kind of cocky, like action hero kind of guys. They're just over the top. And if any of them were ever going to be a star, they would be like sub Jean-Claude Van Damme, Steven Seagal level. Like they'd be that lazy, but the one-liners would be better. Like they're better at one-liners, but their acting is that lazy. And it's phenomenal to watch because this whole movie takes place in Hawaii, and they say numerous times the most beautiful place on earth. But there's a deadly snake. I'm not talking just a poisonous snake. I'm talking about a snake that's been medically altered, and it's been altered by cancer rats. And it's deadly toxins from cancer infected rats. Don't know how they got it. How snakes on a plane didn't have that as well, I'll never know. And there's also things like I said, this guy right here, skateboard assassin. He will pull out some craziness right after this. It'll be a shotgun with a blow-up doll. That's what he's going to go for. And it's just amazing, just absolutely amazing. And then there is one of the most classic Frisbee scenes I've ever seen in the movie. And when it happens, you'll know. And if you don't, well, you're just a thrower, as our characters love to say. Now, for this movie, like I said before, all the women are naked pretty much all the time. They're all Playboy playmates. But then there's this other character. It's Lady Michelle. She's a bartender, and she's played by this guy named Michael Andrews. And Michael Andrews is listed in his resume as a female impersonator. Now, I don't know what that is. I'm pretty sure, I guess you'd call it modern times, that'd be a drag queen, maybe. I don't know, but just the fact that it goes by female impersonator is kind of hilarious to me because they don't know how. They obviously in the 80s they had no way to describe what they were what we would classically know today as, I guess, what RuPaul would put on her Drag Race show. And it is absolutely just mind-boggling because it plays this really small role in the movie, but the fact that he's called a female impersonator is just funny to me. I don't know why. It's just funny because it was the 80s. Silly things like Hard Ticket to Hawaii and female impersonators in the movie could just be a thing and no one cared because who cares? It was an action movie. There are 11 others in this series like this. And this was allowed to happen in the 80s because that was 80s action. And Mike, being a barely a late child of the 90s, he's more of a 2000s kid. For him to watch this movie, it's going to blow his mind because it is 80s action at its best. And I mean 80s B action because 80s action at its best is obviously Schwarzenegger, but this is not in Arnold's wheelhouse. If Arnold was in this, it would almost be too good, you know? So that's my choice for this week. I'm going to make Mike watch Hard Ticket to Hawaii. It's phenomenal. And I think he's going to find that it is phenomenal as well. And I hope if you watch along as well, you're going to find it phenomenal too. So until next time when you see Mike's response to this, good luck, enjoy this movie, and I will see you guys next time.